Hello, I'm Mark Kallas, real estate broker and owner of Rent Life Property Management, Houston's local property management experts. For the last 23 years, I've used my knowledge, experience, and expertise to help continue to keep my investors profitable. Today we're going to learn a little bit about Chapter 92 of the Texas Property Code as it relates to security devices on your Texas residential rental property. This code is a requirement and is often overlooked by many self-managed investors and some property management companies. This is part of our property management learning video series. We are pleased today to have Roger Courts Jr., President of Rekey Xpress Locksmith. Roger's been in the locksmith industry for many years and currently serves on the board of the Greater Houston Locksmith Association. Roger, can you give us a summary of what this whole thing's about?
Sure. First, let's talk about Subchapter D of the Texas Property Code. This is how it relates to security devices on doors of Texas residential rental property. There's a few things that we should go over. The first thing that I like to tell all landlords, property managers, is that there are 4 things that your swinging door needs in order to comply with Texas Property Code. Now, I'm not going to go into height and details and things like that, but just give you a general overview today. The first thing is that each door needs to be rekeyed. Each keyhole on each exterior swinging door must be rekeyed at the time that the tenant turns over. The law does give us 7 days after the tenant arrives to do that. Typically, we do that before they move in, but we do have up to 7 days, okay? So the second thing that we need to know is that each door has to have also a window or a door viewer installed in it so that the tenant can see outside through the door when it's locked in case they get a visitor. I have landlords and property managers ask me the door that goes from the home into the garage, the man swinging door, not the overhead door. They ask me if that is a door that falls under the Texas Property Code, and it is. So if you have an attached garage onto a home, the door that goes from the garage into the dwelling, that door does fall under that and also needs a door viewer. The third thing that we need a keyed locking device on each door. So it can be a knob or it can be a deadbolt. But there's one huge thing that we need to talk about when we talk about that keyed locking device. And that is that keyed locking device cannot be this right here, which is a double cylinder deadbolt. So a double cylinder deadbolt is keyed on both sides of the door. The Texas Property Code states that the tenant must be able to exit the dwelling without the use of a key. So it doesn't name double cylinder deadbolts by name, but as you can see, if you're inside and you have to use a key in order to exit, then that would be a violation of the Texas Property Code.
Okay, wow. A couple questions for you real quick. Mm-hmm. Now, when you say rekey, do we have to always replace all the locks when a tenant moves and completely change them out? Or is there something else you do to the locks?
Okay, so typically what we do, as long as we have locks that fall under the Texas Property Code and they're not double cylinder deadbolts, we can actually pull the cores out of those locks and repin them to where the old key no longer works and a new key does. We don't know who the tenant gave the old key to.
Then another question for you on the door. Now, some of these attached garages have a door leading to their backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Is that door part of the property code, and does that have to have a door viewer?
That door does not lead into the dwelling.
Okay.
We do typically rekey it for convenience of the tenant, but it is not required. So it's up to the landlord how we would follow, and different landlords and different property management companies have protocols on that. That door falls under like a gate outside or the overhead door on a garage. It does not fall under the property code.
Okay. The next question is, how many different brands of locks are out there for residential use?
So there are numerous brands, probably a good 2 dozen.
Oh, wow.
However, we're going to encounter mainly two keyways while we're out there. We're going to encounter a Schlage keyway or a Kwikset keyway. They license their keyway to different manufacturers, so you may find a Brinks or a BHP or a Defiant or a Gatehouse, and they're all going to have Kwikset keyways.
Okay.
Master Lock is going to have Kwikset or any kind of keyway. Master Lock is licensed to all of them, but so you're going to have two different ones typically.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. The fourth thing that you're going to need on your residential rental property is what's called a one-sided deadbolt. These are very important. The law was passed in the early 90s, and what we need to remember is that the tenant ultimately does not have control of their own key. There is a key copy or a key code stored somewhere that other people know about. So in the early 90s, the legislature passed a law requiring a physical barrier between the outside and the inside of a property, so that while a tenant is inside their property, even if somebody walked up with a key, they wouldn't be able to get in through the physical barrier. So in this instance, what we use is called a one-sided deadbolt. As you can see on the outside, there is no keyhole. And typically, we don't even have this plate right here. If you look on this display, you can't even see anything, okay. You know, and this is the more typical installation here. But what this does is it operates only from the inside of the property. And so when the tenant leaves, they can't lock that one, but they can certainly lock their key deadbolt on their way out. But that's state law too, and again, there's height requirements for that as well. And that's probably one of the most important things that is overlooked by new property management companies, landlords, things like that. This is extremely important. And it's so important, I would make sure that you do study that law and maybe even get legal advice from your counsel before you step off into the business of renting a house. Because if you're taking money from somebody to live in your home, you're a landlord.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you take on that liability.
You do.
And you have a due diligence for the safety of your tenant.
You do. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what is this? This is the door viewer here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how do you get that in there?
Okay. Most of the homes that we do, they're 3-bedroom, 2-bath, front attached garage. That door viewer is going to go in the front door, the garage passage door. Typically, the back doors already have a window, so we're not going to have to worry about that. But this has got to be installed under 60 inches high. And we just use a unibit. It's a real quick install. It's very inexpensive to do, and it's a 5-minute install and a very inexpensive part. So the main thing to remember is under 60 inches.
And I can't tell you how many times we've gone to properties and the owner has done his own door viewer, and you look at it and it's high enough where I can barely see out of. And that's not compliant.
That is not
That
compliant.
is a problem, and you might as well not even have one. And the same goes for this keyless deadbolt. If it is if it is above a certain height and a child cannot get access to it, that's a problem, and you might as well not have it as well.
The Texas Property Code in the Subchapter D, what they're trying to accomplish is that someone can be safe inside the property, but that they can safely exit the property too. So this right here, the one-sided deadbolt, and for that matter, any locking device on that door cannot be over 48 inches high.
Wow, wow. And let me ask you, Roger, what about sliding patio doors?
Okay, sure. So sliding patio doors are a little different, but they do fall under Texas Property Code. Most are not keyed. However, if they do have a keyhole, we do have to rekey them, just like the swinging doors. The Property Code requires this. You must have a pin lock installed in each patio door. It must be under 48 inches, so that stays consistent. Then the Property Code allows for either a working latch that locks the door
For the handle.
or what's called a Charlie bar. And growing up at Grandma's house, if she had a sliding glass, the Charlie bar was usually like a broom handle cut off and put in the track, right?
Absolutely.
Well, believe it or not, that's compliant, but we do put the Charlie, we install the actual Charlie bars.
So it doesn't run off or someone lose it.
That's correct. So, and it's attached to one side of the door. You just bring it up and affix it in. And that way it's a physical barrier that keeps someone from opening that door along with the pin lock.
Okay. So your company, Rekey Xpress Locksmith, can actually do all the installation for all these for investors here in Houston.
Yes,
and
sir.
so we don't have to worry about it. We can contact you, or an investor can contact you and say, hey, Roger, I need my property brought up to Texas Property Code. Can you help me?
Yes, this is what we know.